Hey there folks, you remember that SS Loser Wolf drama? Well, I decided to learn from the scum-sucking parasite and YouTube promoting it, so let's try and make a reaction video. Now whom to steal from? Oh, right, remember Level Cap? Yeah, I like him. Let's abuse him. Hopefully he won't mind. And look at that, he made a video about comparing Starfield with Star Citizen. Well, I made one for comparing with No Man's Sky, that's more apt, but okay, let's see what he has to say. So, sounds fun. Let's get stupid!
Star Citizen versus Starfield.
But hold on, why is he comparing to Star Citizen in the first place? Oh. Seriously though, I do want to show how to do a proper reaction video with actual effort put into it. Now of course down below let me know whether or not I succeed in it or not. And also, what you're gonna find down there in the description is his original video link. Actually, it's pretty decent and I won't cover all of it, so go check him out. And also, let him know I sent ya.
Truly, both games offer incredible spaceships, with Starfield winning in the build and tinker category, which counts for a lot, and Star Citizen winning in the variety, custom detail, and large-scale functionality.
Variety is an interesting question, right? What do you consider as a variety for spaceships? Because ultimately, in Star Citizen, there are ships basically either for combat or for haulage, right? There's variety within the combat category because, you know, you can land on the planets, you can have a bomber, as loosely term as a word bomber goes. There be the sort of a pirate EMP sort of faster than light interrupting ships, and yeah, to that extent there is that niche, there's that niche variety, but not necessarily a gameplay variety. Though then again, Starfield also suffers from the same sort of a problem.
Now, how do the missions and narrative content stack up? Both Star Citizen and Starfield offer a large variety of missions that players can run. Both games have missions.
Okay, here we get into the weeds. Large variety of missions you can do and take in Starfield and Star Citizen. Right. Starfield, yes, mostly fetch quests, but yes, to some extent there are the cargo missions, there are the kill missions, and there are the exploration missions, the general three big types. And when it comes to the story missions, absolutely. But when it comes to Star Citizen, oh boy, I wonder how Level Cap is gonna justify this one.
Star Citizen, on the other hand, has missions that are often more simple. While they do offer some interesting missions that can involve betrayals and base assaults, they tend to be on
betrayals and base assaults. Are you mentioning that one sort of tossed in talky mission that you just showcased at the start? Come on, Level Cap. We all know that Star Citizen basically has randomly generated missions of basically 6 types. Generally speaking, in Star Citizen there are about 5 to 6 types of missions that are being generated ad nauseum, with some variations here and there. The classical box mission, of course, basically go there and pick this up, or pick this up and bring it there. Then there are the combat missions, both on foot and of course in space. Let's call those 2 different ones, why not? Then there are salvage/mining missions. Oh sure, they're using different ships and tools, but ultimately about the same thing. Weirdly, there are also racing missions, and I really like them too. But they're nothing more than just a pointer, but still, hey, it's something different. Then there are some hybrid missions which combine the box retrieval and the combat. Be that in space or on foot, it's basically, well, let's call it a new category, why not? And then there are investigation missions, a cut down box mission. You go to a place, look at the dead body, and that's about it. The PI mission is kinda the same, but with added story elements, so it's kind of a special one, but not really. And aside from these, there are a few unique ones, but there are basically a handful of them and not much else. Now, there is one thing that Level Cap seems to be missing, or rather hasn't included for some weird reason. See, Star Citizen offers a free-form gameplay, like for example, just trading, without a mission. You go buy stuff for cheap in one star system, then transfer it to another one for profit. And that space trucking, say what you will, it's methodical and it's interesting to some degree, and it adds to that space gameplay. When there are vehicles overall, it's actually kind of a thing, an obvious gameplay that weirdly Starfield didn't include. And the same thing goes with hand mining. It's also a lot better in Star Citizen, general big ship mining as well.
More voice acting and narrative build-up, yet they still don't come close to the depth and nuance of Starfield.
Wait, hold on, what was hold on, what was that?
The larger missions in the game end up being multiplayer events, and those can involve more voice acting and narrative build-up, yet...
Okay, oh god. Okay, level cap, what the hell? Right, so you're saying multiplayer events that can involve more voice acting and, what was it? And narrative build-up. Voice acting and narrative build-up. Okay, so let me just show you.
Okay, let me update you on the current situation. The Ninetales lieutenants are still a problem. We need all of them neutralized in order to draw out their commander and get his access codes to shut down the inverter. If you want more specifics, check your Moby class.
Yeah, here, take the mission, let's go, kill some baddies, something like that. And that's called narrative build-up, and... No, level cap! Somebody's stretching a bit much on that, definition.
Starfield has way more solar systems, more planets, more moons...
Okay, yeah, okay, I didn't expect it to say it that way, but level cap. It's been a running joke with Star Citizen that everyone says, oh, well, Star Citizen only has one star system. Even today, still one star system. And presenting it in a way that...
Starfield has way more solar systems, more planets, more moons...
It's funny way of wording, that's for sure. Let's be frank here. Star Citizen is focusing on presenting that one-star system with things to do in it and blah blah blah. You can infinitely copy these things, and in fact, well, Starfield actually did that quite a bit. Saying that Star Citizen is just bad because it has only one system is kind of missing the point. What you do in them is more important than how many are there. And that's one of the sort of problems with, in fact, a lot of space games. In fact, a lot of even open world games in general.
The game has around 1,000 different planets, while Star Citizen only has about 4 planets so far, and a number...
He's a boy. Come on, level cap. Lean into the joke. We all know it. Don't pull the line. Just have fun with it. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's a joke, it's a joke. Star Citizen has one system, even after 10 years of making. Come on, it is just funny.
From a tech standpoint, Star Citizen planets are the clear winner. It's not even close. They can be circumnavigated, have atmospheric layers, rotate realistic.
Right. I get what he's trying to say with the whole atmospheric layers, and there is certain variables and changes to flight mechanics when you're entering, but ultimately, without the mechanics in it, all it is just basically a change in a skybox color, essentially. Here's a shader that does that. The difference is that in Starfield, well, you can't fly your ship. That should have been the big point, level cap. You can't fly your ship in atmosphere. That should have been the big one. But he does point out the circumnavigation being a big problem. He does point out the problem with every place you land or walk in first person with Starfield. It's first person map that is loaded in at that point, either procedurally generated or pre-made already. And it's a limited map without asset streaming. Just... You know just as well as I do, level cap, asset streaming is the big difference.
However, Starfield has populated their planets with creatures, more bases and landmarks, and actual characters and people to talk to. They make their planets and locations more fun and purposeful, while
In a way, he's right on the making planets purposeful. I wouldn't say purposeful, rather Starfield just populates it with points of interest, a lot more closely, more densely populated, in a way to sort of trick you. It's a cheap way of, or rather, making it feel like there is more to do than there actually is. And yes, Star Citizen definitely has a lot less locations. All of them are pretty much hand-placed and pretty much, yeah, you're not gonna find any unique things on Star Citizen's planets aside from the stuff that is already marked on your HUD or on the planets. So finding something interesting in Star Citizen's planets, sadly, nothing. And of course, yeah, there's the characters and life and blah blah blah.
With shots going where you aim and a generally pleasing feel to recoil and accuracy, where Starfield is a bit more RPG, with guns firing wildly off-center until you rank up specific skills or mod the stats of your weapon. The biggest problem
Hold on, level cap, what the fuck? What the fuck? As far as I remember, there were no skills that improved the recoil control. Hold on, I'm gonna need to check this. Right, the only skill that I could find that increases accuracy when you rank up a skill is hip fire. Hip fire, you know, not aim down the sights, but he's clearly talking about aim down sights thing. Hold on a second, I need to test this one. Oh, wow! Me even trying to test this shit. Okay. Fuck you, Starfield. Yep.
With guns firing wildly off-center until you rank up specific skills or mod the stats of your weapon.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't shoot where you're aiming with added recoil. Gotcha. So that's what he means. Would have been nice if he showcased it, but there you go. I did.
Star Citizen has going against its gunplay is the netcode. Most interactions feel a bit laggy, and it makes it impossible to create a sense of...
Most interactions feel a bit laggy, you say. Let me showcase you a bit laggy. My God, level cap. I don't want to say this, but I have to. Have you been drinking a bit too much Star Citizen Kool-Aid there, buddy?
Guess I'll go take a look. Have you anything round here?
Now, what about my immersion? Talking about
my good old topic, my immersion! Oh, Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a painful one. Let's see.
Immersion in a video game is basically a meme at this point, but frankly, it's a very valid and important topic. Both games offer incredible immersion, but in completely different ways.
What? Again, I'm nitpicking words, kind, almost, but mate, if I have to nitpick this much on your wording alone, that kind of sets a specific tone. Both games offer incredible immersion. Have you played Starfield?
Your decisions as a player can change the world around you and...
Right, extensive stories and narratives. Yeah, that is true. The way he worded it, yes. Good those stories be not. But, stuff that these stories change, sadly, no. Fact is, let's see. I'm trying to think of a storyline, a story quest that actually changes the world around you. A good example would be, in kind of a way, the pirate questline. Well, you can side with the pirates and essentially become one of them, blah, 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 blah. But you don't become hostile against UC, or at least they don't treat you any different because of that questline if you become one of the Crimson Raiders. Overall, the game has a lack of consequences, as I mentioned before. Generally speaking, the side quests that you do, they have ending consequences whether or not this character lives or not, in kind of a way. That's true. But these characters, once the quest ends, don't affect anything else. That's one of the big problems with the stories or the structure of the game's world. Unlike with Skyrim's Imperials versus Stormcloaks, right? That whole questline, it actually changed who was in charge of, well, Whiterun and other cities. Though it didn't really give any change other than just a visual coating. Even that was more than what Starfield does.
This creates a real narrative sense of immersion. However, the
Okay, narrative sense of immersion. What narrative sense? Again, this feels like just pointless writing in your script there, Level Cap. I know what you're trying to do there with you know, sort of hyping it up and sort of giving it a bit more value than it actually does, but when you delve into these stories, when you analyze them properly, sadly, no, they don't have actual ramifications, they don't have consequences, as I said previously. So I don't want to suggest, but I kind of have to question. Did you play through these quest lines and did you actually turn on your brain to analyze them?
However, the insane amount of loading screens, cutscene transitions, menu-based space travel, janky camera work, and repeated procedural assets does really hurt the experience quite a lot.
He mentions that, oh, well, there's incredible immersion in Starfield, right? But then loading screens absolutely ruin that immersion. Yeah, it's kind of funny thing that he's putting way too much emphasis on, oh, well, the story is definitely this big thing, which it really isn't. On the other hand, he's sort of offhand remark, sort of shuffling the bad part under the rug.
When it comes to looting, Starfield makes looting and crafting an essential part of the core experience, and it's no surprise that it just wins this category with ease. Both games offer a looting, and even Star Citizen has a lot of loot variety, but it has a very janky backend system, making it laggy with a lot of lootable items that serve very little purpose. And as much as I don't enjoy the Starfield menu system for transferring items around between your characters and your ship and bases and stuff like that, Star Citizen's is way worse.
Right, here I have to actually be far more positive than Mr. Level Cap there, sorry. I will absolutely say that in the principle, Star Citizen's approach to loot is so much more appealing for me. It's just so much better in the idea of it. Most namely, one of the problems I had, and a lot of people had with Starfield, coming from other Bethesda games, was the characters you kill in Starfield aren't fully lootable. On the other hand, what I absolutely love doing in Star Citizen is go in with just my fists and fisting a dude until he falls down. Then take his gun, literally the gun and the magazine at the very least that he had, plus of course his armor, completely equipping myself with everything he had fully and going on a rampage.
Jump packs, which is something that I wish Star Citizen would do.
Yes, jump packs. Oh, jetpacks are cool. Like, no two ways about it. Even the shittiest of jetpacks, they're just cool. And the fact that Star Citizen doesn't have them is weird. Actually, come to think of it, Star Citizen, out of all space sims, except for maybe X4, is the only one that doesn't have jetpacks in their first-person character. Why? Why? That's such a cool feature.
What about modding? LOL. Starfield obviously wins this category with mods already filling up the internet. Star Citizen modding outside of like trying to get VR headsets to work with the game and some API stuff with tablets just isn't really existent or realistic due to the inherent advantages one could give themselves in an MMO game.
Right, so here's an interesting thing that he doesn't mention. See, Star Citizen, the multiplayer part of it, was touted to have mod support. Right. So, back in the day, in Kickstarter, specifically back when their original website crashed, and back in the day, what they did promise was, real quick, a Star Citizen is blah 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 blah, and then there's modable multiplayer. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the promise that they made and hosted by you, assuming that they are hinting at a private servers. I mean, if that would be the case, sure. Why not? And but yeah, moddable multiplayer is one of the things that that I still remember, and I do wonder what has come of it. Again, they haven't mentioned anything about the moddable multiplayer, but when was the last time we heard them even mention the word mods? There's a website to check that stuff. Uno momento. Alright then, so we have Star Archives. This is a wonderful little site that scans through the text, or rather the generated text in videos, and find information pertaining to certain queries. So, let's see. Mods. Yeah, just quick glance over. They haven't mentioned anything about literal game modifications. Well, since literally that Kickstarter. So just like offline mode for something like LA Dangerous, it's just unfeasible. So expecting game mods, yeah, no. Starfield definitely wins this one.
But what about multiplayer? Tons of replayability and joy from playing with friends. The lack of co-op even.
Watching grass grow with friends, watching paint dry with friends. The old saying that, oh, well, this game becomes more fun with friends. CFDs, in the recent times I've reviewed that. No, that is bullshit excuse. Absolutely bullshit excuse to say that, oh, well, this game becomes more fun, or at least it's really good with friends. No, fuck that. I will play Left 4 Dead alone, and I'll have a lot of fun by myself with bots, and of course a lot more with friends, sure, but playing with friends shouldn't be the basic sort of excuse for making a game good or calling it a good game. It's the people you're playing with, the folks you enjoy company with.
Now, due to the entire simulation nature of Star Citizen, the views can be much more impressive because they aren't just set pieces or a level built around a sunset set.
They are a set piece right now. What you're showcasing, level cap, you have to understand that what you are showcasing is a vista, basically.
Star Citizen also has more impressive lighting, shaders, and particle effects. That said,
lighting, no. I would say lighting about the same. Overall, I would say they both use, well, Star Citizen uses a bit different color a lot, or rather coloring specifically. It's like, oh, well, lighting, this is more contrasty, so lighting is much better. No. It's more specifically technical things, so I wouldn't say it is better. What was the other?
Star Citizen also has more impressive lighting, shaders, and particle effects.
Shaders. How are you gonna say? Do you know what shaders are? I don't fucking know fully what the fuck shaders are, and I have programming background. I consider shaders a fucking miracle. Black magic, in fact. But no, seriously speaking, just like I showcased that shader before for the skybox, right? The colors changing. That's a shader, technically. And yes, Star Citizen does have a few more, indeed, but more impressive? How do you measure that? Like again, the average person, and again, myself included, oftentimes when I look at games graphics, the first thing we see are colors, the contrast between colors, and we confuse and conflate good or better graphics with just simply having a better art style, or most likely a better color space. Let's just say so.
And Star Citizen is on the verge of implementing Vulkan, which should unlock all kinds of new opportunities to further improve the visuals and performance.
Do you fucking know what Vulkan is? Do you know what graphics APIs do? Right? When the generation between DirectX 9 and 10, and especially between 10 and 11 came, the new technology that both OpenGL and the DirectX implemented at that point was tessellation. Even though tessellation did exist a little bit in DirectX 9 by manually putting again, Stalker is a good example of sort of first attempts at DirectX 9 and sort of what became tessellation later down the line, and of course with Crysis 2, when DirectX 11 came out and the whole tessellation thing just skyrocketed, showcasing what that technology could do, that was a big sort of a visual jump that we could see as users. But when it comes to the difference between DirectX 11, which Star Citizen is running on, and Vulkan or DirectX 12, both of them are quite similar. There are slight differences, generally speaking, performance-wise as well, but Vulkan is basically the big change between those graphics APIs is less so to do with the visual capabilities and more to do with the performance capabilities. Most namely, Vulkan was touted, as well as DirectX 12. In fact, DirectX 12 was the first one for multi-threading support, or greater multi-threading support. Again, I don't want to bore you, but I have to explain this shit because he's presenting this Vulkan change to be the big thing, and really it won't be. The models will be the same thing, lighting will be about the same thing. Sure, there might be some rewrites on a couple of shaders and a couple of things here and there, but generally speaking, what changes graphics, or, well, it won't be a massive graphical overhaul, it will improve the performance. That's gonna be definitely the big one. But the problem also that they didn't mention was, well, Starfield, well, Star Citizen's performance is more reliant on the servers. I shit you not. Depending on how servers are feeling, your frame rate will go up or down, and very notably so as well. So that's the thing. Even though you might free up the graphics pipeline a little bit, it won't improve the frame rate by as much as nearly as you are suggesting here, or, well, even at all.
The graphics win to Star Citizen with the performance win to Starfield.
Performance win for Starfield. Yes, both of them are really bad. Like, he does mention, both of them are really bad.
Starfield is a completed game that has shipped to the masses. Star Citizen is an alpha early access game that...
Okay. Immediately, you're just excusing bad crap being presented to you as a customer and consumer, as saying, well, it's just an alpha, or it's just a beta. That sort of attitude that basically propagates this narrative. You realize that. We shouldn't be so forgiving, especially for something that has been in fucking production, literal fucking production, not for a pre-production, but a production for 10 years. What I'm saying is, raise the standards, because companies, and CGI is not exempt from this, will take advantage of this, and they have already. And there you go, that's the reaction video. Now do let me know whether or not I actually succeeded in making it with actual effort and something that is transformative and rather interesting to watch, or I completely failed. Well, either which case, remember, Sniper Wolf is a cunt, and of course down below you're gonna find Level Cap's video, as well as my Patreon link, so if you deem this support worthy, go check it out. Otherwise, join the Discord and all that good stuff, and I'll see you then next time. Alright, I'm just having some fun with some peoples here. Hey, guys. You wanna ride the elevator? Let's ride the elevator, why not? Welcome to hell! Oh, this is just the funniest thing. You all are my captives. There is no escaping the elevator hell. Oh no!